Research has shown that those who eat breakfast have a more balanced diet than those who skip it. For instance, I can get 5 to 6 portions of plant within my morning yogurt mix as a standalone meal. And today I tried Tim Spector's diet, who's head of epidemiology at King's College London and also co-founder of the Zoe Science and Nutrition Clinic.
Hi there, I'm Tim Spector, Professor of Epidemiology and expert in gut health nutrition and co-founder of the company Zoe that brings you personalised nutrition. Now, I'm often asked, what do I eat? And so I thought I'd invite you into my home today to show you the range of things that I would eat on an average day.
I would love to have a kitchen that looks like that to start with.
With breakfast. So let's go on to the most important drink of the day, and that is...
I'm not sure about you, but breakfast is a funny one for me. I seem to ebb and flow throughout the year, depending on the seasons. It's now, again, second day where there's about 20 degrees weather here in the UK. And yeah, I just find it hard to eat really early. Completely different to the winter. Always start the day with a coffee. Try and not have it as soon as I wake up. Try and give it at least 45 to 60 minutes. But yeah.
A black coffee made from good beans, dry roasted, packed with polyphenols.
Black coffee as well, definitely.
And it turns out that the Zoe Predict studies have shown that coffee drinkers have really high levels of a beneficial microbe that we call Freddy.
Interesting. Freddie, yeah. So you're going to have to stick around until the end of the video to see how that impacts me. Or you could click through here just to see the full version of it. I'm going to leave that one hanging.
You can tell instantly if someone's a coffee drinker or not just by looking at the gut microbes. So it's a great start regardless of whether you're going to have breakfast or not. And sometimes I don't. But let's assume we're in one of those days.
Sometimes I don't.
Where I'm going to have the full breakfast. So the first thing I'm going to get out is some full-fat yogurt. It can be Greek style. It doesn't really matter as long as it's good quality and it has no other ingredient.
Okay, that's a good start already. Love my Greek yogurt. Generally eat that every single day myself for breakfast. No matter what time I end up doing that in. It's pretty much always Greek yogurt. Big fan of it. But yeah, let's crack on.
It's in it, so no sugars, fruits. It's not low fat. And for me...
And not low fat, that's key. I started learning that from Tim Spector through a couple of his Diary of a CEO interviews, podcast, whatever you want to call it, where the low fat is actually so bad for you because it, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's full of processed stuff to make it low fat. Get the stuff that isn't low fat and doesn't brand itself as being healthy, X, Y, and Z. That's where they've done something to it to make it that much more seemingly healthy. But in actual fact, that counts as processed foods, ultra processed foods. It's actually worse for your gut bacteria and your gut health, as I found out, personally suffering with IBS. But yeah, let's crack on.
Fat is important because I learned when I did my own Zoe scores that breakfast I was having, that was the sort of breakfast cereal stuff, even though it said healthy muesli on the packet, was giving really big bad glucose scores. So for me, starting off with a fatty breakfast means I have a better metabolism, I'm less hungry later in the day. And then the other ingredient is kefir, or kefir, which is fermented milk for those who don't.
Again, I've heard of this kefir stuff, hadn't actually tried it. Today's going to be the first day, so you'll find out how that is. But yeah, fermented milk drink made using a culture of yeast and bacteria.
And generally it's from cows, but you can also get it from goats. And this has about 5 times the number of live microbes as yogurt. And I often make...
So I guess it's just an addition. You can have it on your own, but yeah, like I say, from what I see most people that are in and around me doing this sort of stuff, conscious, healthy eating, sustainable weight loss, is that the kefir is just an addition to the Greek yogurt. But yeah, let's crack on.
And kefir, which is very easy to do and means you don't have to spend large amounts of money on fancy stuff. Next, yet more fat and protein actually, with some mixed nuts and seeds. don't believe all those people that tell you you only have these super brands like chia seeds and ones that cost a fortune. Any real mix is good. They're all fantastic source, not only of polyphenols but also of fibre. To finish.
So yeah, again, like I say, I have my morning yogurt mix full of nuts, full of fruits, and I've really come to enjoy it, and now want to implement nuts, seeds, all that sort of stuff into my other meals, my lunches, my dinners, that sort of stuff, just to boost that score. But I'm also wanting to be as specific as possible. As you can see here, Tim Spector's just got all of his nuts and seeds, in a little pot. I actually keep them in their packages and just weigh them out individually. Might be a bit excessive, but it's a position that I was in that made me be this excessive over it. But I'm glad I'm doing it because I'm being as honest as possible and getting the best possible feedback. And it's been a complete life changer. Like I said, lost 16 kilograms, losing my love handles and my man boobs. But yeah, let's crack on.
Off, we're going to go for some berries. People often don't know this, but things like raspberries have the highest fibre content of any plant. So plenty of blueberries, plenty of raspberries, and any other fruit you've got lying around. Just look in the...
Didn't know that about raspberries, but there you go.
Cut it up, whack it in. The greater the diversity, the better.
There you go. Tip 1, add kefir to your yogurt for more probiotics. Don't be fooled by brand names. Generic nuts and seeds are just as good. And throw in whatever plants you have in the fridge. The more diversity, the better.
Delicious. And that's breakfast. Simple.
Nice. Well, that's breakfast, as you heard Tim Spector say just there. We're now going to dive into a cheeky B-roll where I'm going to have a nice voiceover of the foods Tim Spector has here in his breakfast. So let's go. But that's what it looks like. I'm excited to try the kefir. Let's give it a go. It's not bad. Well, I'm going to finish the rest of this and talk to you afterwards. I'm now going to dive into the Zoe app in my iPad and log my breakfast. First things first, I click down on this plus button down here and select breakfast. I had this at 11:44. Don't need to be that specific, but if you remember, why not? So what we're going to do here is we're going to add the base, which was the Greek yogurt. And for a lot of these foods here, and in this video, I've already used them a lot because I've been doing this for 4 months. So they're already going to be at the top of my search list. But they're not far off from a scan. They've just updated their barcode scanning system actually, and it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So much better than the last one. And if there's something not in the database, you can now send all the information through for Zoe and the team, piece together. So some of your favourite foods you can then put into the Zoe app and see how they affect your body. But anyway, we started out here with 110 grams this morning of Greek yogurt. It's a 75 for me, which is really good because I love my Greek yogurt. Love it out on holiday in the sun. It's always pretty good with a bit of banana and honey. Tim Spector actually didn't use a banana for this, but I'd normally just chop up a banana, and it was quite difficult eating it without a banana and without the honey. But nonetheless, when I put that in, I still get a good scoring meal. So my morning yogurt mix is about an 85 rated meal overall. So I'll be interested to see how this differs. Anyway, that's 25 grams of blueberries in there. We also had raspberries, 25 grams there as well. Just bearing in mind, frozen fruit and veg is just as good as fresh fruit and veg. Well, within reason. I believe there's a Zoe video where they discuss about frozen fruit versus fresh fruit. But one of the ingredients that I haven't tried before was this stuff. Now, my mum and dad's fridge is full of it. As I said, my dad, now 59, has been doing this for so long. He has this every single morning, as does my mum. So we're going to scan this and show you how good the new scanning setup is. So add new, go to scan. We'd like to access the camera. Here we go. Let's go for that. Gosh, instant. Biotiful kefir drink. So I had a 500ml bottle. I had about 150 mils there. And the final thing to add were the mixed seeds and nuts, mainly pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, all that sort of stuff. So I have a shop just around the corner where I get all of my nuts and seeds from. And here we go. I put in probably a good 1.5 handfuls there, as you would have seen. I love this because this scores 100, and you can just chuck them into any meal, just like any sort of nut. You can enhance the score of these meals just by putting them in. And I've actually found that nuts enhance the flavour of the other ingredients in the meal, so definitely worth a shot. But yeah, let's add that there, and there you go. Okay, so the difference between mine and Tim Spector's breakfast is about a 5 score. Yeah, like I say in previous videos, my breakfast morning yogurt mix is sort of anywhere between 82 and an 88 rated, normally an 85 or an 84. Depending on how many grams of fruit I have and how many handfuls of nuts I have as well, which does change on a daily basis depending on what I've got in the fridge and freezer. Yeah, anyway, that's a 90 rated meal. It's pretty impressive. 470 calories, 25.2 grams of net carbs, 32.5 grams of fats, 21.7 grams of protein, which is really good there, and 7 grams of fibre, all of which sort of are definitely within my target ranges for the day when it comes to logging meals and keeping within range. But again, as you can see in further detail here, it's an excellent on blood sugar, excellent on blood fat, and good for gut health. So if we go into the blood sugar bit here, it's low sugar amounts. Anyway, let's save this down, and that's breakfast for the day. Want to share your meal? Not this time, thank you very much. There you go. Now we'll move into the next section. That was interesting because I'd never had that kefir stuff, but I'd heard a lot of stuff about it. Like I said, it was interesting. I wouldn't see why I wouldn't keep it in my meals now. But yeah, like I said, I normally have that sort of stuff. The only thing that I, would have otherwise have put in is a banana and some honey, maybe some coconut, just because I like the flavour and the crunch. Also walnuts and flaked almonds as well. I would have put that in just because I feel that fills me up for longer, and it's easier for me to get more portions within that. That's 5 portions as it is. I normally also put in some strawberries. Sorry, that's the 5th portion. The blueberries and raspberries are nice. Raspberries very sour, as we all know. But yeah, could have had some banana and some honey in it and some strawberries, in my opinion. But very nice though, nonetheless. Since you've watched until the end of the video, I know that you'll like the next one, which you can see here, where I taste Zoe's new gut shot in collaboration with M&S.